Thinking of ending 8 years of relationship, f31, significant other, m28. Too long did not read. Exclamation mark. f31, feel so disconnected with my significant other, m28, and feeling it may be time to call it a day after 8 years. I'm f31, feeling disconnected and unloved from my significant other, m28, of 8 years. So here's the long and short of it. I'm the breadwinner of the relationship, I'm ambitious, spontaneous and a total people pleaser. In the relationship with my significant other I have gone above and beyond to communicate, show love, affection, supported him financially and emotionally. Supported him and his family when he was in a major RTA and he suffered head trauma. This was 2 years ago. He's a different kettle of fish to me, and I see him as my grounding force. He's got his head screwed on, methodical and a bit more closed off. Here's the thing, we've had our ups and downs in the 8 years. And he's been a bit physical with me in the past, pushing, shoving, throwing a garbage bag at me in an argument and hitting his head against stuff, to the point walls and furniture have dented. He sought help and we made another go at it, but recently he's become snappy, telling me to shut up when I ask a question or to elaborate why he's feeling a certain way. The other day he called me pointless in an argument and it just stuck with me. What does this man bring to the party? He's in debt, no money ever, unless it's for his car or when he wants someone for himself. He is constantly on his gaming laptop, rarely wants to socialize, he is T1 and uses that as an excuse not to go out, unless it's speaking to his online friends, and for the past few months his demeanor is always miserable with me. Living with him, I pay more rent, bills, luxuries, I do all of the cooking and cleaning and do a lot of the driving, day trip planning and do the niceties for both sides of the family, i.e. birthday gifts and cards. Well, now I'm in my 30s, I don't know whether to carry on or distance myself further and move on with me life. I had a bit of a panic attack on night thinking, is this it? Am I just his doormat mother stand-in figure? What is in it for me? Any advice or stories of your own would be great. Thanks in advance. Edit 1. Thank you for all your advice, stories, reassurance. I'm going to try and respond to all of you. I'm just overwhelmed with the actual amount of comments. I thought this was going to be lost in the ether. I really need to plan how and when to approach this, whilst maintaining a firm outcome, which is for him to leave. The hardest part for me is that we have had some lovely times, laughter, happiness and whatnot, but I now walk on eggshells and fear about giving him any sort of constructive feedback or asking him to help me around the house. Luckily it's only my name on house, and I own everything. I've asked if my friend and dad to be there when I can come to a date. But bloody hell, thank you Reddit. It sounds like you have come to the realization that you can do better. And believe it or not, sometimes being alone is better. I've been married 15 years and I am the breadwinner, but my spouse also contributes a lot, and he makes me better each day. You deserve that. Best of luck. Don't support someone like this. I found myself in a similar situation. I felt disconnected from my ex, and was really afraid of ending everything. It was a 7-year relationship. I'm not going to say what you should do, I'll share my history in case it can help you decide. I decided to pull the plug, ended the relationship. I went through a couple of the worst moments of my life and many times I thought I had made the wrong decision. After a while I picked myself up and worked on myself, and eventually I became the happier I have ever been. I don't have the slightest doubt that it was the right choice, and all that pain served its purpose to make me a better person. I hope you make peace with whatever decision you make. Cheers. Congratulations. You have a son. You already know that answer. Sir him down, tell him it's over, don't give him an out. He's gonna realize he's about to lose his caregiver and panic and say anything to change your mind, grand statements of love, promises to change, etc. Don't believe it, and even if it were true, it shouldn't have taken this to motivate him. It's just another exhibition of his selfishness. Once he's gone, I'll promise you that you'll see how easier life is. It will be a load off your shoulders. And you can start dating people who are compatible with who you are now, not who you were in your early 20s. Sounds like you already know what you need to do, but in case you need reassurance or validation of your choice, here it is. You should absolutely go. The situation will not improve, and you will be miserable if you stay. And you know this, in your heart of hearts, you already know this. So go. Live a better life. And only because you mentioned that you are a people pleaser, I'm going to gently suggest that you begin your new life by examining why you're a people pleaser and whether or not this is a good life strategy for you moving forward. Sounds like there is no reason to stay with him. A relationship is supposed to enrich and better the lives of both people in it. You know the answer. You just had to write this all out. You have permission to end this. You deserve much better. Leave. You work, you pay the bills, you cook and you clean. And he just exists. If you're going to do it all, you might as well be alone and do it all like that, and have that comfortable feeling of not dealing with someone like him. If anyone is pointless, it's him. New Year girl, own it and kick its ass on your own. Sounds like you should definitely end it. He is emotionally hurting you and you deserve much better. Also, honestly, I just can't imagine trusting someone who would push, shove his GF. If one of your friends described this situation and asked your advice, what would you tell them? My guess is that you would tell him to move on from this man who is not treating them with respect, let alone not bringing anything to the table. Trust your instincts and don't waste any more time. I know it can be hard to untangle yourself from a relationship of this length, but it will be worth it. It sounds like you know the answer. Maybe he brought something to the table in the past and there is no need to beat yourself up for getting here. But it sounds like you are just his stand-in mother. The physical stuff combined with the disrespect sounds bad. You have to get out ASAP. You're miserable and not married to him. I don't think you're getting anything good from this relationship, so why continue? Also, it sounds like he's abusing you, and after 8 years, you've probably been desensitized to it. Imagine your life a year from now if you showed him the door. Like others have commented, I think you know what needs to be done. It seems like you have evolved and are trying to build the life you want, and he's refusing to grow up, but that's no excuse for the nasty behavior. That itself would be enough of a deal breaker for me, even if he wasn't using you as a doormat. The only way you're going to move forward is to find someone who isn't going to weigh you down, but someone who has a similar outlook and wants to work as a team, and will reciprocate the love and effort you deserve. I know exactly how you feel. At 31, you're still in the prime of your life. This guy is dead weight on a good day. Relationships are supposed to make everyone in him better. Wow, you deserve much better than this guy. Honestly, you sound like you have an amazing amount of patience in dealing with this for the past 8 years, but yes, I agree with most comments that this relationship is too far gone. One recommendation: do not let him guilt trip you into staying. A person that will be losing this significant of a benefactor in their life may potentially beg and plead, and from his past it sounds like he could threaten self-harm. You have been through so much please, for your own well-being, get the hell out of there. Again, you deserve to be happy. And in a relationship where your partner will treat you in the same way that you treat them. But all in all, I wish you the best. So, you're supporting this dude to live above his means, and in return he's repaying you by acting like miserable ass. Doesn't seem like a good deal. Let him go pout, sulk and abuse someone else, take yourself and your money elsewhere and enjoy yourself. Hell to the nonu. Make 2022 about you. If you're honest, you already know that this relationship is long over, you only have to make it official. Get rid of this asshat weighing you down, get back your freedom, and take it from there. This new year has a ton of potential. Use it. Sounds like you know what you need to do. I, 42M, have been in this spot before, and it rarely gets better at this point. We tend to focus on extending relationships instead of assessing them and figuring out if they make us happy. You know what's worse than ending an 8-year relationship? Being in a 9-year relationship that isn't going anywhere. So you do all the work, financially and at home, and he belittles you and has been physically and verbally abusive. Yeah, if you stay, you're exactly what you fear being, a doormat. But this is not it, because you are fully able to leave him. You don't have children, you're not married. Not that those things would involve you needing to stay, but it's just even easier this way. And after you leave, maybe consider why you didn't leave earlier. And I don't mean that in a cruel way, but just so you don't do this in the future. You can't fix people. He must fix himself. You must cut him off and move on. Leave. You know you have to leave, and every other commentator supports you on this. I left a relationship because the thought of living the rest of my life a certain way frightened me. You are better off alone. Tell him, leave him and get therapy for possible issues with codependency. He is not going to change. You don't need advice, you already know the answer. What you want is permission that it's okay. Well, it's time to put on your big girl pants and do what you know to be right for you. Good luck. This guy is a classic abuser. Just nice enough to keep you on the hook, holding out for better. He won't get better. The longer you stay and show him you will tolerate his mistreatment, the more he will mistreat you. The title by itself is enough of a reason to end it. The post is full of good solid reasons. He sounds dreadful. You stayed with him for 8 years. Why? There must be something drawing you to him. You mostly mentioned his negatives. What does he do well? At first I was thinking that you should give him a chance and talk over with him his thoughts and feelings and yours too, as communication is key here. However, when I read that he can get physical and hurts himself, I thought that maybe it's a sign to move on. You deserve not to be in gear of what might happen on the daily, and also, the fear he may one day get physical with you. Please seek local support for this issue too, as there may be other signs of DV without you even noticing. Best wishes. You are wasting your life. The only positive thing you had to say about him was that, he's got his head screwed on, and good thing, because otherwise it may have gone flying when he was banging it into the furniture. But seriously, it doesn't sound like you guys even like each other. I think you already know what your New Year's resolution is, and if you came here for validation, you've got it. Depending on the severity of the head injury, this might be the best it gets. You deserve more, and if he isn't pulling his weight and is getting physical with you, it sounds like you're in for a rough time if you choose to stay. I walked from a similar length relationship complete with engagement. There were issues before the head injury, lying, name-calling, etc., but the head injury expedited my decision to leave. See, you have been in relationship for 8 years and onwards. I suggest you to just normalize the things between you both. It might be just because of his mood swings, tears of joy, tears of joy. Boys can even have mood swings, you girl rolling on the floor laughing. And if it still don't work, then the last option. Leave him, woman shrugging. I think you already know your answer. One bit of advice that has always stuck with me is that relationships are a concept, larger than two people. Sometimes the idea of the relationship can cloud out the reality of it. The good times exist, sure, but when you find yourself constantly looking backwards for good moments because there are none to look forward to, the relationship is pretty much done. Be proud of yourself for coming to this realization. It'll suck for a while, but it sounds like he has been holding you back, and with your personality type, you will quickly be much happier being independent and free. Good luck. I see him as my grounding force. He's got his head screwed on, methodical and a bit more closed off. He is abusive and a leech. It's very much in the cycle of abuse that you apologize, love bomb, and when forgiven, slowly ease back into the abuse. Honestly, I'd call a domestic abuse hotline to make a plan with, because he has a history of violence and that can easily escalate. He isn't your grounding force, he's a stone tied around your neck. It's going to be hard, but once you recognize how much of a burden he has been and start putting the effort into yourself, you'll absolutely flourish. Good luck. Op less than 3. 8 years may be gone, but you don't have to waste 9. You should have to carry anyone. Please watch Daniel Sloss on Netflix, his episode Jigsaw. If you aren't into stand-up comedy, then just skip halfway through. The best relationship advice anyone could get, and exactly what you need to hear right now. Too many red flags to count from the start, but please save yourself any more pain and end this soonest. Best wishes to you. Brave of you to come to what seems like a conclusion already. My 8-year relationship just ended, and I can tell you it's hard as FCK, but I already, 2 weeks in, feel like it is the right thing. Compromise is part of relationships, but you should still be able to develop and flourish in relationships, not hold each other back. I hope you can resolve this and work towards something better, because it sounds like you deserve it. People can change after a head trauma. The personality difference may be subtle, but rage often surfaces. Maybe he was the same before the injury, maybe it's gotten worse, or maybe he was always this bad. But you don't have to stay pushing, shoving, throwing a garbage bag at me in an argument and hitting his head against stuff. Don't stick around when things get physical. They usually escalate. Hitting his head, he needs to see a doctor. I would just leave based off of the physical aggression alone. No real man does that to his significant other. Wow. You need to get out ASAP. This is incredibly abusive and you deserve so much better. Strength to you, and I hope you find happiness soon. I have had this feeling as well about my significant other of 4 years she works just part-time. There was a time when she was helping me with the bills, but not anymore. Her and her daughter do all of the cleaning and laundry. She does make me happy, and if we did split, the situation that she would be going back into at her parents is not something I want to see her go through. Her brother is a heroin addict and lives at home, and it's a terrible situation. The panic attack sounds like your wake-up call. Let us know how you fare. Good luck. I think you're about to be a lot happier once you get through a difficult transition period. I've been in your shoes for a shorter amount of time, 5 years. Let me confirm this for you. Having an equal partner in life, emotionally, financially, etc., is a whole different world. You've given him more than enough chances and time. Ditch the deadweight and focus on your own happiness. It's time to move on and let him go. My previous partner did this for all the right reasons. I just turned out not to be the person she met at the beginning of our relationship, and I didn't treat her like a partner should, and eventually she pulled the plug, and rightly so. 8 years is a while, but another 8 will be a waste. It's going to suck somewhat, and there's no easy time to take appropriate action, but it's time to take control of your life again and use the new year to gain some new perspective again. I hope you get what you want out of life. Good luck. I'm in a similar situation as you right now, and it got me thinking that this is because we are people pleasers. We are drawn to people that we can help or take care of, and we put our own needs aside. It's not possible to have a healthy relationship this way. I've spent some time thinking about why I am this way and how I can recognize it in future relationships. Anyways, he really doesn't sound like he has any motivation to become a better person for you or himself. Looks like it's time to move on. Hitting his head against stuff, to the point walls and furniture have dented. On purpose? Nothing about that is okay. That is fucked up. Bounce sister bounce. I was with someone like this for 5 years. It was hard to leave, I was afraid and ashamed to, but I did it. After I left, I lost 10 pounds, my heartburn went away, my hair stopped falling out, and I stopped clenching my teeth at night. I didn't realize how stressed I was until I left.